On July 1st, 2014, I was diagnosed with stage 2 breast cancer that had spread to my lymph nodes at the age of 36. My original diagnosis was invasive ductal carcinoma, but in addition to that, I was diagnosed as being ER and PR positive and HER2 neu positive, which is basically just a very aggressive form of breast cancer. So in addition to that, I had genetic testing done to make sure that my daughter wasn't at higher risk for breast cancer, and those tests came back negative, so she doesn't have to worry. I don't carry that gene. I know one other person who's had this type of cancer. The type that I have is pretty rare, but about 6 months before I was diagnosed, I had a friend who died from the same type of breast cancer. This cancer is very treatable, but she chose to use alternative types of medicine instead of having chemo treatment, which ultimately led to her death. So I think about that a lot when I'm going through this and the treatment gets really hard, and I decide to just keep going with it because I want to give myself every chance I can to get through this. After I was diagnosed with breast cancer, my first thought was, what do I do now? Like, as far as treatment, how am I going to fight this? I think what kept me going when treatment got hard was knowing that I needed to be there for my kids and that eventually things would get better. It didn't really bother me too much because I expected it. It wasn't till after a few months that it started to really bother me. I got tired of wearing wigs and stuff. You want to go back to normal, I suppose. I think the most emotional part of this whole thing is the effect that you see that it has on the people around you that are closest to you, like my parents and my sister. I think that they took it a lot harder than I did. I think the most important thing to remember when you're going through this is to always stay positive, because it helps, your attitude helps you, I think, stay healthy and just to stay active also. I mean, I ran in 3 races while I was going through chemo, and I tried to work as much as possible. Now that I only have 1 more treatment left and 1 more surgery, I'm hoping to just put all this behind me and not ever have to deal with it again.